Hi there, I am Allie Reynolds and I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about the IEP process. So basically, what goes on and how it works. Um, IEP, which you may already know, stands for the Individualized Education Plan, which falls under IDEA, and that is known as Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. It is a required, formalized, written plan that needs to be included in your child's education alongside their general education, and that provides them with any support that they need on account of their disability to ensure that they are receiving the education that they are legally entitled to. And that process begins with a referral. Now, that referral can come from you, the parent, when you suspect that your child might have a disability, but it can also come from a staff member inside the school, a teacher, a school counselor, or a psychologist. Basically, anyone who will interact with your child can refer to them, but it still requires you, the parent, to give your written consent to have them formally educated to see if they have any type of special needs that would require an IEP. If you decide that you would like to have them evaluated and you've signed your written consent, then by the law, within 60 days of you giving that green light, your child will be evaluated to gauge their abilities in core subjects like reading, math, but also to gauge some of their cognitive abilities like memory, for example. Some of their new behavior or emotional ones as well. And by the end of that evaluation process, it is then determined whether your child is eligible to receive the form of an IEP. Sometimes students aren't found eligible, and so they can go on something called a 504 plan, which is completely different, and we won't really cover it at all in this one. But if you do disagree with that evaluation, you can go to your own independent private evaluation outside of school. But let's say they are eligible, then that is when an IEP comes into play. That is when the individualized plan needs to be put together, and you're probably thinking as a parent, what is my role in that? What's my child's role in that? And it's basically, we need to figure out their academic future and their success. They would be co-authors, y'all would be co-authors, the whole IEP team would be considered co-authors. But first and foremost, you, the parent, are the primary member of the IEP team. So your input, your observation, your thoughts are always the most important because you know your child better than anyone, and you have spent more time with them than anyone else has. So you really know them, and you are basically aware of the changes that you may have noticed in their behavior progress. So you, as a parent, will be leading the IEP team, and you're going to be helping set goals, and that is actually where your child's participation comes in, because you know your child better than anyone, and your child is also, and if your child is well aware of their limitations and their abilities, they will also be able to help with the goals by showing what they are able to do. In terms of modification or services or supports, anything like that, once the meeting comes together, a plan is formalized, and it's going to need to contain some key components. It's going to need to contain their current academic standing, any progress they have made, their functionality in school environment. It's going to have a list of those measurable goals and how and when those goals will be measured. It's going to have that statement of education that is going to include any of the modification supports or accommodations that will be provided to the child. It will also need to specify when, where, and how long those services are going to be provided, and of course, to make sure to keep the IEP up to date. There will be an annual review process where we can go over everything from the past year, what goals were met or exceeded, if there's anything that needs to be changed, and so forth. These are the main points that you need to know as a parent with the IEP and the process. And I really hope this video was very informative for you. Thanks.